Hey guys, little interesting story that I thought about this morning. I'm all about turning obstacles into opportunity, and I was reminded of the time that I showed up to my swim practice in the morning. So it was basically self-led. It's when I was training for Ironman Triathlon. I'd get up at 5:15 in the morning, and then from there I'd get to the pool, try to be in the water by about 6:05 or so. And this one morning I showed up, all 5 lanes were just packed. There was about 5-6 people in each lane. All these people are different speeds of swimmers, so some of them were using flutter boards, some of them were doing front crawl, some of them were doing backstroke and not really paying attention to who was around them, people in the same lane. Some of them were using pull buoys, not to be confused with pool buoys. Putting those between your knees is a different exercise, but anyways, we won't go there. So that morning when I got there, looking at my workout, there was no way I was going to be able to get in the water, get into one of those lanes and swim with that many people in there, especially doing different things. If you're to go swimming with a triathlon group or whatever, swim group, and you're all doing the same thing in the water, you're trying to keep the same time and stuff like that, it ends up working out a lot better, especially if you're using the same stroke. But with all these different people, different ages, abilities, and the styles of swimming, I was not going to be able to get my workout done. So I looked over at the deep end, and there was absolutely nobody in the deep end. And I did not have very good flip turns, or actually any flip turns at that point. I had seen them done, saw some on YouTube, saw friends doing them, some competitive swimmers, and they were just like seamless in the water with it. It was a beautiful thing to see. When I tried doing it, I would either slam my head into the bulkhead or the wall. It just wasn't pretty. But instead of walking out of the pool, I ended up spending time in the deep end, just going from one side to the other, so across the pool, since no one was in there, and I worked on those flip turns for 60 minutes. I would spend time working on it and then take a bit of a break. Sometimes what we do here in an EMOM or in a workout here at the gym. But what I did was I honed those skills of kind of paying attention to how close I was to the wall or the bulkhead when I was going to flip over and push off and get across the pool. The better I got, the further I was able to stay underwater, stay aquadynamic, and then be able to dolphin kick so that I could basically stay under the water and get from one side of the pool to the other without having to come up for air. That just showed me how much more efficient I was getting at it. I was working on, as I would flip over, making sure that I was loaded up, my knees were right at my chest, and then I was like firing off the wall and then trying to get as streamlined as possible so that I could make it across the pool. So the more I practiced, the better I got at it, the more I was able to get across the pool, and then get across the pool faster. So it was basically taking that time that I had and putting it into that skill and that ability. Later on that year, I used it when I went to provincials for the 1500 meter. It's not really a transferable skill when you're swimming outside for triathlon in the open water, but when you're training inside, rather than kind of coming up to the bulkhead, touching it, pulling your head out of the water, getting back under and driving, you're able to kind of keep that momentum up. So you don't need to take that break at the bulkhead. You can kind of keep that momentum going, which is kind of nice. So turning that obstacle into opportunity, looking at it, and instead of taking off and saying, oh, I can't get my swim workout done, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm not going to be able to get it, I ended up just modifying and being able to make use of that deep end that no one was in and working on that skill. And that's a skill that I still have now. If I jump in the pool now, I can still go and flip turn, and it might not be as crisp as years ago when I was doing it consistently, but right now I can still jump in the pool, hit those flip turns, and have committed it to muscle memory. Even the workouts after, when I learned how to do flip turns after that date, I was able to make use of them right away, and it was a skill that I was able to keep. So if you can, anytime there is some obstacle, see what the opportunity is there, what you can do to get better, whether it's a skill or if something doesn't go your way. I'm always learning and screwing up here at the gym and trying to learn from it and turn some of those obstacles into opportunities. Some days are better than others, some days are complete failures and busts, but still here, still busting my ass and still learning from all those mistakes, which is great. Some people don't know this, but I was 28 before I learned how to swim. I went and I signed up for half Ironman first of all in Morden, and then I went and got a swim coach because the goal was like get signed up for it. Before that, I kept putting it off. It was like, oh, I'll do it later. And my goal was to do a full Ironman by the time I was 30. And ended up signing up for that half Ironman, and then right after that it was like, okay, I don't want to die in the water, so I'm going to get a swim coach. So I ended up getting a swim coach. Wanda Mathers yelled at me all the time. We'd go out and do open water swims or in the pool or wherever. It'd be just constantly yelling at me. And it was a good experience. I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot from her. I was able to take that skill into triathlon and to be able to go and compete at provincials and do a lot of cool stuff, meet a lot of awesome people that, I still get to connect with through Facebook and just through the triathlon community now. I'm definitely not as immersed in it as I used to be, but still a hell of a lot of fun to be able to have that skill, to be able to, go and swim. And, this summer, hopefully I'll end up going and doing at least 1 or 2 triathlons, even if it's just a sprint, just for fun. But anyways, just thought I would share that, if you have a chance to look at something, instead of looking at it as a failure or a missed opportunity, look at how you can change it into something else that can benefit you in another way down the road. So I know that it's happened in a lot of different areas, and when I look back at it, it's like, yeah, I could have just walked away from this or that situation. But when you put yourself out there and you're willing to kind of like bend instead of break, then you can gain a lot from it. So hopefully this will motivate you to turn some sort of obstacle into an opportunity. Thanks for watching.